on your mind?
Can you just talk briefly about how the 1AR strategy, and specifically like your overview, would change given the technicality of the judge you're in front of? Like, how do you adapt your overview with 1AR to the judge?
Right. I think that there are a lot of ways to do that. And a lot of it depends on your affirmative. Like, if you have a more technical judge in front of you, and you are giving, and your affirmative is somewhat more critical, then an overview is imperative in explaining philosophical underpinnings of your case and the framework under which you like them to be evaluated, and why that's important. In front of, like if you're running a more policy-oriented case, a more realist-oriented case, then you would want to make the arguments, or you would want to explain in the overview the way your arguments evade theirs, why your impacts are bigger. I think in front of a less technical judge, a more communications-oriented judge, you're going to want to explain in much simpler terms what it is your affirmative does. Because a lot of times in those rounds, the question of whether you win or lose comes down to whose interpretation of the affirmative the judge thinks is true. Whether, and the negative will have some fundamental misunderstanding, or at least fundamentally different understanding of the case. And you want to explain it as simply and as efficiently and as eloquently as possible what it is your version of the case, what you think your case does. And that sort of re-clarification, I think, gets you very, very far in the mind of the judge, especially if you do it at the start of your speech. You can say, look, the negative misses the boat on this. My plan doesn't actually do what they say it does this other thing instead. I think that's maybe it's an unfair characterization, but I think that's what a lot of less technical rounds come down to. That negatives who don't understand a case more thoroughly will latch on to one or two words in a card and use that to characterize your affirmative. And what you need to do then in the 1AR is rectify that. Explain the words in context if you have to. Explain the rest of the plan in context of that card that's problematic for the negative. Just re-explain the case in again, as simple, as straightforward, and as eloquent a way as you possibly can. Is it?
Yeah, so do you feel like in front of communications-oriented judges or lay judges that your overviews become more longer, more detailed because it becomes more important to like you winning the mind of the judge?
Maybe not in the 1AR. I think definitely in the 2AR, and I think definitely as an underview and not an overview. You're going to allocate more time to a re-explanation of your case. I don't know necessarily about longer or more details. I think more elegant and simpler is the rule of the day. Remember, this judge is not going to call for cards after the round. This judge needs you to explain what your case does, and needs to be able to maybe not write it down, maybe even not write down